Hello, everybody. You are joining us for a new episode of Tales from Tomorrow, Under the Mothman's Embrace. My name is Kyle, and I will be your overseer this evening. And as always, we are joined by tech troubles, but that's just how we roll around these parts, and hopefully I've sorted out my side. I know DK's had a little bit of mic issues tonight already, so bear with us, as you always do. Thank you for giving us your time, your energy, and joining us for more adventures throughout the Wasteland. In last week's episode, our players had returned to the town of Hope, where they brought back a wounded Lena and got her to Jacob's medical clinic, only to find out that she was still unconscious hours later. They decided to spend their time heading off on new adventures, specifically to check in on the Cult of the Orb to see how they were faring against this new onslaught of Mothman activity. And, they got into some exciting adventures over there. Our friends were warmly received, to put it mildly. They got a nice welcome from the cultists, and now are in a position of maybe having some extra baggage on their way back home. So that's where we're going to be joining the players tonight, and I would like to throw it over to them and say hello to Sam, who will be playing his character. Well, hello to Sky, who will be playing his character Sam tonight. Let's flip it the right way. Hello, Sky.
Howdy, howdy. I'm just that in character.
You're becoming your character. He can go to your job and you can go to the Wasteland. It's a win for everybody. And we've got DK playing his character Jim. Hello, DK. How are you tonight?
I'm all right.
Good to hear. And we've got Mac Raven on her character Raven. Hello, Mac.
And me, the Mad Raven.
That's right, you, the Mad Raven. And with that brief summary and synopsis of last week underway, I want to get into a little bit of housekeeping for people, just so you have the most up-to-date information from around the stream. One, I want to let people know that, as always, you can support us using the code BTALES this week, 22, BTALES 23, and if either of those expire, look out for BTALES 24 for the Bethesda Gear Shop. We can save 20% off your order and give us a nice kickback from it. I've got some really exciting set pieces to unbox soon on stream, including one Pip-Boy over here, so there's a lot of excitement. I'm jazzed about it, and it's all thanks to you guys using those codes, getting us the ability to promo more material for them. And if you want to get into the game itself, want to try out this TTRPG, you can use the code BTALES up at the Modiphius site. So if you want to save 10% there, and again, we get a healthy kickback from that. Also an Amazon affiliate link down below, so feel free to bookmark that and use it at all your checkouts. Beyond those affiliate-style notes, I want to tell people that the Substack exists. Make sure to get over there and get your name on the mailing list. If you like these episodes, we send out, right now, about 2 to 3 emails a week. One episode is a recap of this one. We do a synopsis in text. It has the live stream link. It has the recorded video link. It has all the affiliate links I just mentioned. And then we do the Overseer's log. I need to get back to doing those on Fridays, but the schedule's been crazy. The Overseer log is the companion diary episodes that go along with this, where I just sit down, talk shop about what's going on behind the scenes, and sort of a lot of this stuff. Talk about the housekeeping notes. One of the other exciting ones is that we have a new podcast coming in June. So that will get its own Substack. And as I heard it, there's a little bit of the audio hiccup, folks. I'm sorry. I think it's due to a backup recording, so I'm going to try and tell it not to do that. And we'll hope the pop goes away. Otherwise, I'll be troubleshooting until my head explodes later. Back to our updates, though. Podcast in June, so look out for that one. That is... not ready to tease the name of it yet, but it's going to be a community show, and it might have Dark Knight co-hosting some of it too. We're going to see what people's schedules and all the rest align to be, but it's going to be a community show where people come by and give us their thoughts on Fallout, what they're doing in the community, what they're making, prop makers, artists, storytellers, event organizers, people that really are the lifeblood of the community. We want coming by. That could include other podcasters and streamers as well, who've got their ear tuned into the community. So if that sounds like you, stay tuned. We're going to have information on that as we get closer. I'm so close to announcing it. We got the URL, we got the logo art, we got all kinds of stuff. So it's like really on the horizon. The summer campaign series, last pivot, I think, is to say that those are coming up. We got the first one booked today, so that's going to take place in July. That is Lost But Not Forgotten, the story of a forgotten vault, and our players will be recovering it or reclaiming it or doing whatever comes about on their way. They're going to explore it, and we'll see what happens if they make it. We got some other interest that's been submitted. There's a couple other names that I've got to get to scheduling them up, maybe for August, maybe for June, if we can squeeze a little bit in there, but we'll see. I think June's going to stay clear just for the podcast launch, and then July, then August for the other campaigns. But if you're interested in joining that, you can leave a comment on YouTube or get in touch on the Discord server. That'd be a great way to do it. Do we have any other programming notes? I think that's about it. It's a reminder that these episodes are recorded live on Twitch and YouTube on Sunday nights. So come on by, join us. You can chat alongside. But for now, I'm going to roll our intro theme. People can get a little visual of the characters, and we're going to dive right into it. So we'll let Sky, we'll let DK and Mac know. Get your characters prepared. Get into the mood here, because you're going to be picking up with an eager cult that's ready to follow you anywhere you take them. Intro theme, take us away. Okay, folks, here we go. We're picking up where we left off, out in the middle of abandoned Ohio wasteland. We're at the Drumlin Diner, and you all have a crew of cultists that I just mentioned, all eager to go on an adventure. I think they actually wanted to follow you back to Hope, maybe? So does anyone have a burning desire to start us off today? Otherwise, we'll go in our traditional order and see what Sam's up to. You're all in the diner, though, just to set the scene. You're in the diner, kind of rundown, dusty place. They've wrapped up their sleeping bags and the rest and hauled them out the door. So we'll say you pick up as you hear the door jingle shut behind them.
Sam, did they say there we're heading to town?
Unfortunately, it seems so, but I don't see the problem with having extra hands on deck. Like I said, they seem mostly harmless, and maybe they'll keep to themselves.
That ball seem worried.
The most dangerous thing about it is the chemicals that it's filled with. I wouldn't pay too much mind to it. We're just lucky that it seems to have been on our side this go around.
Can't be worse than that pink slime Raven a while back.
You drink it?
I do not recommend drinking it. I don't recommend anyone touching the ball, because I definitely feel like that's a really quick way for them to turn on us and not be too thrilled. I think that they'll put their entire life behind that ball.
Well, you make a strong case, however, I'm undeterred.
Jim, that not nice.
Jim, just so you know, if anything happens, I might have to leave you to the wolves. Can't go disrespecting them like that.
Well, I mean, look. There's one thing about respect, and there's another thing about worshiping a plastic ball. Okay, it's ridiculous to treat it as anything near respectful.
We're holding on to a lot of old world prejudices, my friend. You know, these people, a lot of them, they might not have been around, before our time, and people place a lot of faith into a lot of different things back then. So we kind of just got to roll with it. You know, they seem to be like they're doing fine, and they don't seem violent, unlike other religious groups that we've come across. So I think we just gotta be chill with them. Gotta see where they take us.
So you're saying I grab a poker chip down the casino, I can turn that into my own personal god, right?
I've seen weirder things. I mean, look around you. You got people worshiping a spear. We got people worshiping moths. There's all sorts of things going on.
Well, stranger worlds have been lived in.
Too true, friend. If this is the weirdest thing we're going to come across today, then I think I think it's safe to say we've had a pretty good day.
But I pray to Mothman, but he is real not sure about the orb, it seem real too.
Exactly.
Yeah, that brings a little discrepancy here. If their orb is a god and Mothman is your god, they both can't be real.
I don't think we're here to get in debate of theology, but who's
Fair
to say
enough.
that, we're living in a monotheist world? I think the old ideas, they're long past, like I've said.
It's about at this time you hear the clink of the door and a ring-a-ding-ding as one of the followers of the orb walks in and says, hello, are you all ready? We're outside eagerly awaiting our journey. The eightfold speaker, he awaits you out there, curious as to what path we will take. He's asking the orb now.
No, don't worry about it. No need to bother the orb. I apologize for. I appreciate you, putting up with us lagging behind a little bit. We were just discussing, pontificating on the power of the orb. We were just, left so in shock by it that we just needed a moment to recuperate.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I completely understand. Ask of the orb, it knows all. It has freed us from our burdens, and life has become much easier in this wasteland since we began following its guidance. It is just good that you are willing to take us in and let us convert your flock to see the light.
Much excited for it. I think we're about ready to head out now.
Good. Right this way then, whenever you please. Bling, bling, bling.
I don't know if we've looted this place yet, but do you guys want to take a peek, see if there's anything around?
I'm always looking for one of them Nuka-Colas.
We are in a
Sure.
diner. Raven, do you wanna take a peek somewhere? Check the fridge.
Thought this place was looted already, actually. Didn't you guys get a wine and a Nuka-Cola out of here?
That's what I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't think it's not that I remember.
I'm pretty sure you guys did and chose not to spend any more points on it.
Yes, I mean we do. The last test is a survival perception, so that's probably right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. From my recollection, you would have got wine and Nuka-Cola. And again, there was and still is the option if you want to spend AP to get clothing, food, junk, or chems. You could try to find any of those things. Clothing, food, junk, or chems.
Well, you got your Nuka-Cola, buddy.
All right.
Do y'all want to go ahead and head out?
That sounds like a plan.
All right, sweet. We might need to save that AP for getting that APC out.
Is that the goal? What is the direction you'd like to go beyond the diner? Because you sit just as maybe I can pull this. Maybe we'll see if Alchemy's kind to us. You're right across the Ohio River. And if I press this button, zoop, there we go. That visual is correct. Huzzah! Like when things work. So you're right across the Ohio River. You're over the Ohio River Bridge, Drumlin Diner. There is the boat icon on the map still represents where the APC is left. That was where the boat battle took place. So if you guys want, you could cross back across the bridge You could leave your boat where it is and walk down the road, or you could take the boat down the road, either for, I mean, if you're going to maybe use it for the APC, that's something to keep in mind. Or you could go back to Hope and try other things first, just to put out some general ideas.
Well, I was assuming that we were going to try to get that boat ready to go back and try to use the winch to get the APC back up.
That's what I'm thinking as well. And then we just won't tell them about it until we get there.
Okay, so by the sound of what I'm hearing, you are all going to get ready to depart Drumlin Diner. All of the cultists line up in a nice they did a 2-file line with the leader at the head of it. There are, 7? So they got maybe I guess the leader and someone else are stacked up next to each other there in that line. But they all nicely file. They've got all their stuff with them. You can hear excited rumblings from them as you guys travel. What's probably about, a little over an hour down the road. You get back to the Ohio Bridge. A couple of the people here, you can tell there's a little bit of animosity when they get close to the bridge, a little bit of nervousness because, well, you get the idea that as you walk back across the bridge, there's dead Mothman cultists at the front of it. You get the idea that those are the sort of the remnants left behind by the orb cultists, that they dealt with these intruders to their land violently. So you notice, again, just a little bit of more attentiveness and alertness as they get over there. And now you're fine to go ahead and head down towards the boat. Are you going to try and load them upon it? Is that the goal, or do you want to have them go a different way? Anything's fine. You just let me know your plan.
I'd like them to ride with us. We need their assistance, potentially. So I'll file them all into the boat. And also make sure, well, I guess we took everything, all the drugs off the boat, so it should be okay. So we'll follow on the boat, and we'll take a ride over to where the APC was left.
Wow, you have this travels a seafaring vessel, riverfaring, whatever one might say. This is quite the feat you have, you hear one of them say.
Yes, we were very lucky to achieve getting our hands on it. Who knows? Perhaps it was the will of the orb.
Yeah, at that you hear a couple of them, yes, the orb. Clearly, it brought this boat into our path. Oh, salvation at last. And with that, I assume Jim's gonna go
Sam,
to
these guys are great.
Oh, I know. I lean over to Raven, and I whisper, and I just whisper, "We can totally play them like a fiddle." Did you hear all those oohs and ahs? Let's get these extra hands to work. Jim,
Wow.
you ready?
Yeah, let's get moving.
And you motor on off. You're headed down the Ohio River. It's I don't even know what time of day it is for you guys. I've lost track of that by now. You should take better notes in the future. But I think you had headed out that morning, maybe. So let's say it's an afternoon slot as you're going down the river. It is September in Appalachia as we move ever closer to the Mothman equinox that Raven's been warned about and enlightened to. Maybe knows a bit about from her own past experiences. But you go down the river. It's a warm, kind of muggy Appalachian afternoon on the river. There's bugs flying about. You hear the wings of some bloat flies on the side of the river, not bothering with you. They're not flying out to eat ya. You see a couple rad toads hopping and going after some of those bugs. And as you get down to that ever familiar path and location, you start to see the area. It's probably kind of hard to spot from the river. You didn't really leave. It's not necessarily a landmark of its own where that boat was perched. But with Raven's great vision and perception. She'd be able to spot that in just a moment. Let's see if I can find it on the map. Boat battle. Boat rescue. Here we go. Play. We're resurrecting an older map here that the people were on last time. I think it has added all the fog back randomly for some reason. So let's disperse that. Reveal all. Okay. Yes. This is better. So, different crew of people this time. We've still got like our remainder NPCs here. I'll purge them in just a moment. We'll take Lena off the map. But this is where you had left the APC battered and damaged after the battle with the Mothman cultists, who we were using raider icons for. But the Mothman cultists here all exterminated. Now you see the hulking husk of an APC on its side, right side down on the ground in the middle of the roadway.
It's still here, Sam.
Thank goodness. And it looks like that mine didn't get set off. So it looks pretty mint. You ready to get the power armor, Raven?
Oh yeah, I should remove.
I go out and I address the clergy and I tell them, fellas, we need your assistance, please. This vehicle here, it's really important to us, and it's important that we try to get it back to our settlement, so we need to turn it right side up.
This task seems immense, and what if we don't have the ability to do it? Speaker, ask the orb. Yes, of course. One moment, our brave companions. We must speak with the orb. Sky, why don't you go ahead and roll the D20? Do the honors since you just spoke to them. Just a single D20 roll. Let's see. You see him turn around and... this is all quite hazy to understand. Literally, the orb says the reply is hazy and tells us to try again. Sometimes I find it best in moments like this to walk in an eightfold circle, and he begins to slowly pace in an infinity symbol shape, walking back and forth. I'll try again. Jim, why don't you go ahead? Say, DK, why don't you roll us a die for a D20 to see what we get?
I yell, have faith.
He hears, the orb tells us no. It says we should not help. I do not know this contraption of yours, but have you considered it might be better not to have such distractions in your life?
Well, unfortunately, our biggest distraction right now is a giant group of Mothman cultists who want to take down not only our settlement, but every settlement on this side of the river. So that we really need it in order to protect ourselves from it. You know, I trust the orb. I trust its power, but I am unsure if it's bulletproof. And fortunately, this APC is bulletproof.
He looks at you, and he looks down at the magic, the orb, and says, "Is this true?" He looks up at you with a bit of sort of darkness clouding his eyes and on his face. It says most likely. They murmur. Well, We have dealt with Mothman cultists before. The orb warned us to crush them into the ground. So we could consider helping in this endeavor. It was a hazy answer after all. But with that illumination, we will help you.
Power be to the orb. Thank you.
Power be.
Jim, do you want to get this winch hooked up? You want to help me with this?
Yeah, sure.
So Jim and I will use some fishing boat experience to unhook this winch and get it hooked up to the APC to try to give it some extra boost.
Sure.
Hopefully that combined with the group of, I guess, 9 people now total, along with one of them in a power armor, hopefully we can try to push us over.
So what we're going to have you do, I'm going to have each of you do a strength and athletics test. You each be assisted by 2 of the cultists. Raven, you have a strength of 11 for this, as a reminder, in your power armor. So everyone, what is our number for this? It's going to be a difficulty of 2. And so everyone go ahead and roll a strength and athletics test. We'll see what you get. As long as you get 1 success.
I will help to Sam.
Great. 2 people are gonna... Great. I mean, I don't know if I should be saying the word great, but you've succeeded at least one thing, which means we're going to have these people roll for you in just a second. They have an athletics of 1 and a strength of 6. So... let's go ahead and do 2 people's rolls for Jim. So they need to roll under a 7, I think it is. Neither of those helped with Jim's. 2 more of them for Sam. Oh my gosh, these dudes are rolling like ass. In fact, 3 of 4 of them have rolled complication.
Oh my god.
My back, the orb didn't warn me about this.
At least one of them is... Okay, Mac, go ahead. You need to do your roll, too, your strength and athletics. Oh, my God.
The orb betray us.
You just hear these... Raven's also rolled a complication, a 20 and a 14. No success. Do you want to use a luck point and fix something? Or... Wait,
Please,
also,
Matt.
Yes.
What is your... So you... Wait, these numbers, though, aren't correct, though. We have to remath them. I'm sorry. You do have a success. You've got... The 14 is a success because you have a strength of... Oh, so it's 11 plus 5. So 16 is your target number for this. Yours is really high right now in that power armor. So you do have a success, but a complication. So if you want to re-roll the complication, you can. The 2 people with you are going to roll now.
I re-roll the 20.
Go ahead and re-roll the 20 then. It'll be a luck point from you, unless you have anything else. Great.
Oh,
So
good.
that's another success. You've got 2 successes on yours alone, and another person here has a success. So that'll kind of even us out. We'll say that, like... We'll say that Jim's team, they got it together thanks to that kind of evened the odds. So Raven's team with her in the power armor, they're really pushing. The winch is, I think, going to be the ultimate trick here. I think I've had all of you roll so far. Why don't you, we're doing a lot of rolls tonight. Why don't each of you roll a combat die for me now? This is a stacked test we're doing. Okay. And Raven, what do you got for us, a combat die? That will work. That passes. With the winch, you hear as the APC pulls up. It slams back down on the one part crushing two of the orb followers. You hear screams, as two of them are just completely half-bodied, crushed under the weight of this APC. As the winch pulls even more, with Raven hearing the screams. Another cultist wounded in the endeavor as it finally comes up right, bounces back and forth just a bit as it finally settles, and you can see a battered APC.
Sam, they are dying.
A battered APC with two smashed cultists under the part. Pardon me, I need to be quiet so I'm not laughing. My God! Oh, the will of the orb, it's taken two!
As a medical professional, I'm just going to make sure that they're really dead.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll a medicine and intelligence test.
Wise one, help us.
Well, you got a great amount of successes there. You can add them back to your pool if you'd like. It's a test of 1, so you could add 3 back to your pool off of that one. You see that the two... I don't know. I can't stop laughing. The two that are crushed were very crushed. They're like half-bodied, like just smashed under this. And the others are just not that bothered by it. They're like, oh, this is alarming, but it is the will of the orb. Can you do anything for them? Yeah. Sir, you need to ask the orb speaker. Ask the orb. And he goes and he's going to shake it. He's going to shake it. Say, was this your will, orb, the loss? And this is like chaos going on in the background. Still, people are screaming in it. It says definitely yes. This was intended. And they go from panicked to elated. Woohoo! Some of them have a mixed emotion on their face of like grieving turned into like a butchered smile. They're like, yay, the orb, it's spoken.
Yay. And I kind of look at the two guys who are just plastered in front of me. Kind of sad that these guys are so happy about the loss of human life. And I asked them, do you guys have any burial rituals or anything? Is there something that we can do with them?
Well, let me ask. It's better not to tell you now, says the orb.
Do you want to take them with us?
Well...
There's a hole at the bottom of the ship. We do have a cemetery.
Without a doubt, we would gladly take them with us. Apparently.
Alrighty. Jim, I know this is gross, but do you mind giving me a hand scraping these guys off the cement?
This very odd.
Yeah.
Raven, maybe the power armor will help as well. And we'll kind of clean them up the best that we can and put them in the cargo hold.
Okay, I get the shovel.
So you do.
Alrighty. But it does look like we have a upright APC.
Indeed. You have an APC. You can tell it is pretty bent up on the sides, but nothing that you couldn't fix with enough power armor and tools back at Hope. In fact, we'll go ahead and let DK, if he wants to, Jim could go in and do a check on the interior systems. As you remember, the door was bent up, kind of difficult to get into last time. But if Mac opens that with some power armor and such, Jim could get back in and see about driving it.
How's she looking, Sam and Jim? Can we drive it back?
As Monroe mentioned this in chat, I'll say, it does look like it's got a fresh coat of pretty gruesome paint there, but other than that, it's a little dinged up. But I think it might drive. Jim, if you can check it out, see if it'll work.
And you want me to open the door?
Yes. Let's see if it's still stuck.
Raven, why don't you go ahead and roll that strength and athletics test again? I'm gonna use this test in a way because she didn't succeed on it. I will. Well, actually, you did succeed. You did get a 1. You get a 1. As you say, either way, I think this test indicates that the door's still pretty bent up. But with her help, she can pull that back and definitely gonna need to get that fixed before you drive it into combat or something in the future. So Jim and Sam and everyone else can access it if they please. And while this is going on, you hear the cultists still murmuring and coming to grips with their new reality, with their flock two shorter now from 8 for 8 people down to 6, and one of them pretty seriously wounded. He's got a bad leg break from the APC crushing his leg. Sam, also with that great medical check you did earlier, I'll say that could include you trying to triage his leg if you're so inclined to do so. Now that you kind of see the aftermath of it all and are getting a bearing of the situation.
I wouldn't mind that. And while I'm fixing it up, I come to the realization that we're in a bit of the same situation we were in before, where we need to get both of these machines back, and we only have one pilot. So I turn to what's left of the flock, and I ask them if any of them have any experience driving a boat, if any of them maybe were alive before the war.
Yes, I have piloted vehicles before. I could be of assistance in piloting your vehicle here. I'm sure of it. Or potentially the boat. I could pilot that too.
I tell him that I'll help him navigate back to Hope on the boat. And I turn to Jim and Raven and kind of tell them, under my breath, like there's no way that I'm letting them get their hands on this machine of death. So they can, Jim can drive it back. Raven can come with whomever.
All right. That works for me.
What the worst that can happen?
I just don't know about giving them a 20mm cannon, if it still works.
You, as the cultists are walking off towards the boat, the one who you'd mentioned about wanting to give instructions, she says, "Worry not, I do not need instructions or directions. The orb will guide us the entire journey. We will be there as soon as the orb wills it." They're piling onto the boat now.
We'll see about that. All right, gang. Are you ready to give this a shot? Get them back to Hope, fix up that one guy, and bury their dead.
Yeah, let's get it done.
Good luck, Raven. You gonna stay with Jim? Have some backup? Or do you want to come with us? Alrighty, well, I guess I'm about to. I don't know if any of you guys remember. There was an old book, Heart of Darkness. Reminds me of that. I'm about to go into go onto the river trail with these guys. Hopefully, you'll see me on the other side, and I'll have all my sanity.
You say your goodbyes, and Sam, you begin to load onto the boat with the murmuring cultists. And now that they are on this leg of the journey, they've lost 2. Some of them are picking through, like as you get on the back of the boat, you see the 2 of them are picking through like supplies, the backpacks that the others had. You see them pull out some like crushed Blamco mac and cheese, a box that he sort of pours out, and it's like almost like powderized noodles at that point. And there's a Nuka-Cola that he pulls out, well, just shards of it, I should say. Shards of glass, and brown liquid pouring out of this bag.
All these supplies were lost. Unfortunate, but it is his will. The orb sends us where it must.
And you hear others kind of consoling him. Once pat him on the back. He's like, it's okay.
All those who were lost today were lost the will of the orb. Surely our new friends would not have just gotten us killed for no reason. The orb guarantees us this path.
And as you get closer to the bridge there, Sam, you hear another two, one of the eightfold speakers up there with the pilot. And as you about enter the cabin, you hear the speaker say,
yes, the orb indeed does tell us to go this direction. We are good to go here.
And he just gestures ahead. And with that, you guys kind of pull off in the boat and start going into the river. DK, can we have Jim roll a pilot's test for us?
All right.
Pilot time.
Great. That's all you needed, man. With that, with DK getting a good roll there, Jim is able to get some systems ignited on there. You hear it rev to life. And the fusion core that's plugged in next to you, see it light up around it. It's all powered, and you begin slowly but surely pulling onto the path, testing the waters, if you will, even though you're on land, testing the waters, making sure that it's actually as functional as you think before you get it up to its driving speed. And in about, what are we looking at? Probably, I think we said something like 2 hours. You all will be back home at the rate you're going. We'll go ahead and flip over to the town of Hope now. And for our people at Hope, this is, as always, the background, the backdrop of the main street of Hope. It's an old Appalachian town with a church at the center and shops lining the way. As you get there, Sam, aboard the boat, it begins to pull into the dock, and you see people begin to clamor around, as you're getting used to. The town of Hope's small enough that when one of the guards sees someone on approach, they probably give a little bit of a gesture to the rest of the townsfolk, so they know. A couple of the builders turned temporary dock workers come out, and you go ahead. The pilot begins pulling it into the dock there. Not too much longer than that does does Jim and Raven arrive into town up through the southern section of it, pulling on to Main Street. But we'll go ahead and pick up with Sam over there in the docks. What's your plan here now, having just pulled in?
I'm going to hop off the boat and run in to see Rusty. I'm going to tell him, Rusty, my buddy, you got to get a load of these guys. But you gotta just take them at face value and go with the flow.
Who the hell are you talking about, Sam? Are these occultists?
Yeah, but they're not Mothman cultists or anything. These are some guys that we picked up near the Ohio River. They call themselves they're the followers of the orb. They're on the Eightfold Path. There's a bunch of different names. There's Eightfold Speaker. It's quite something. You'll get a kick out of it, buddy. I'm sure you remember some rinky-dink toys from back in the day. You'll recognize it.
Oh, damn. I should come out there and maybe see him now. What do you think? Should we go and say our hellos?
Yeah, let's funnel them off. We're gonna need their help. You know, they're willing to help be an army for us. So that's all I can ask for.
Really? An army? Well, that's let's see.
And as you guys are headed out there, you do see the speaker and his entourage now of we see there's 8 of them, so there's 6 total. So his entourage of 5 other followers, they unload from the boat. They're gathering supplies as you're kind of walking back up. You know, it's kind of a slow-moving group in the sense that they're still getting their bearings. They don't really know too much of what's going on, and some of them have gone down into the hold to retrieve the bodies of their dead. And you see them just kind of 2 at a time pulling them out. 2 cultists to 1 body trying to pull them out of the hold. And the speaker and his entourage all gather together on the hall. And they come out and say, hello, I am the speaker of the Eightfold Path. You must be the mayor of this beautiful town. It is great to meet you, sir. And he reaches out, he clasps Rusty's hand, and he goes, well, you know, mayor, not exactly the mayor, but I mean, I am kind of a big deal around here. And you could say I'm the mayor of the town. That, yeah. Well, you're welcome. What's going on here? What are you following? Some Eightfold Path? Is this like a Buddhism thing or a old world religion thing? And he goes, well, I don't know about that. We follow the will of the orb. Its guidance is eternal, and it illuminates us in our lives. It has taken our burdens away, and we are now free to prosper. Though today even our flock was pruned, but that is why I'm sure that you, sir, I don't know your name. Rusty Dusty Bones is the name. They just call me Rusty. You, Rusty, I'm sure you can help us find new people to join our flock. And this flock of yours, they do things for you. They work for you, for the orb. They work for the orb. So if we got more people that followed the orb, you'd have more people that just do whatever the orb tells them to do. Yes, exactly that. And that is why we must grow. Sam, what are you thinking as you watch this exchange of big personalities?
I tell them, look, fellas, we'll get worked out on the semantics of you getting new followers and everything down the road. In the meantime, I'm going to try to secure you guys some housing so that, you know, you're not necessarily living off of a boat.
Oh, wonderful. We thought we would just live under the dock here. Previously, we lived in a diner. And before that, well, under a rock cropping. And before that, a ditch. Housing would be... Well, and he shakes the orb real quick. Housing would just be exactly what we... Yes, what we want. We want that. We want housing. Housing would be good. And the rest of them clamor that housing, yes. The orb said so, and we will find it. And they all begin sort of shuffling past you all on the dock. After the decision was made by the orb, the rest of them don't really care so much about all of you and the interaction.
Rusty, I'm going to go talk to Tom, see if I have an idea on an empty spot that they might be able to take refuge in.
Yeah.
See if I can get the okay from him.
Good idea. And Sam, I gotta get going here pretty soon. Back to my farm. I don't know what's going on down there. I want to check in on the guys minding it. We got some new trade routes we got to get setting up here soon enough. Well, some new deliveries going. So, just so you know, I'm going to be leaving town fairly soon in the next day or so. So mind your own docks. Not my job, even though I just said I'm the mayor.
We'll hope to see you again, buddy, and hopefully the town or the farm is good.
Yeah, don't mind if we're taking a little money out of the coffer here. I'm good for it.
I believe it. I'm gonna go get my on my way to Tom.
And as you go in to meet Tom, Raven and Jim, you are now arriving up on Main Street. So both of you, do you have a direction you want to go in as you take in the APC? It probably needs repairs, maybe a spot to park it. Jim, where are you driving it to?
Let's see.
Hey Jim, how are doing? Do you think the orb guys seem off, like they didn't seem to care about the dead?
Well, I think they put too much trust in that plastic ball over there. Okay, I'm gonna probably, let's see, past the dock here, next to this storage warehouse in this little, like, I'm parking it here in this little clearing.
Very good. You do that, you drive it up through Main Street. There's all kinds of people who gawk at it, by the way. Some of the guards from town, some of the people mind and shop, and all the rest, the people wandering through, all kind of looking at this a symbol of the battle that just happened. It's, to the people seeing it, kind of alarming. I mean, they had just gotten this brand new sort of toy for the town, this great defensive APC. For people at home, we're talking about the armored personnel carrier in Fallout. And they had this like sort of glistening new defensive tool, only to see that in its first major battle out, it got pretty notably beat up. Again, the door on the back is a bit bent. The sides are a bit bowed in spots. The damage from, again, the vines that tried to crush it like a pop can. And as Sam mentioned, the gun right now not completely looking operable from the outside. Looks a little bent and askew. Nothing's destroyed to the point that's beyond repair, but it's certainly things are going to need a good machine job to get it up to snuff. So as you're driving it past, there's a lot of turned heads that are like thinking basically, wow, good that it came back, good that we have it back, but people generally thinking if the Mothmen can do that to an APC, what can they do to me? What can they do to this town? As you drive it up there, you pass the eightfold cultists as they're walking past, and some of them even just see the APC that they help themselves right and notice it has blood covering the one side of it, and a couple of them just wave. The eightfold speaker just waves. Sort of gleefully waves at you as you drive past. Jim and Raven, I leave it still in your hands for whatever you're doing next.
Well, Raven, what are your plans now?
I'm not sure I should check the dust and make sure Rusty didn't take any more.
Okay, well, you get on that dust. I'm gonna go ahead and get.
Sorry, DK, cut out there. You're gonna what?
Oh, I said I'm gonna get myself something to eat.
Excellent.
That could mean bad news for the town.
Probably. Yeah, we better get that secure, and because I'll admit, when I was saying earlier, I was kind of half joking about giving them some of the dust to see what would happen. It would be interesting, but at the same time, we got to be careful what we're doing, because that could be a big issue.
Jim, you want to go with Raven as she's doing her thing with Rusty, or are you heading off just straight to the cafeteria?
Oh, I'm going straight to eat.
Okay, you go for it. Raven, you go up to the dock house, it looks like. You're going to confront Rusty directly. I want to ask, you have the option. You could talk to Rusty directly, or you can go check in on I believe it was hauled into the cellar sort of under area of the warehouse. So you could either go in there and do a perception check and see what you can determine, or you can go ahead and just confront Rusty and ask him about it. Whatever you want to do.
Hey mister, how the dust doing?
Squeaks open the door. Hey, Raven. Great to see that you're alive and in one piece and the dust. Ow. Well, look, I haven't lined up any major buyers for it yet, but I think you guys gave me a little bit to kind of work with. Maybe told me I could have some ability to sell some of this for all of you, see what kind of caps could be made. I mean, I've
I've only had about 5 handfuls of it myself. But, yeah, otherwise, it's great. Top shelf narcotics. Love it. Great, good.
Look, don't sell too much, my people might hurt you.
What? How much of this stuff realistically do they need? There's tons of it. There's crates, there's boxes, there's barrels. There's stingy, and then there's making friends. And let me just say, I'd rather be making friends than being stingy, you know? And I don't like making friends with stingy people, so that works that way too.
They said they need it, that is am told.
Well, again, I'm sure they can go without a couple barrels full. I'm heading out of here fairly soon myself, and I was thinking I could take about 2 of them with me on the way down, and we could see about selling it and see if they, how the market's doing.
Barrels.
Barrels, barrels. Like barrels, the ones you see, and there's stuff in them, and sometimes liquid, sometimes money. Never found a barrel full of caps, though, but I have found a person in a barrel before. And I also put a person in a barrel once before. And don't mess with the farm, Don't mess with the farm or you'll get buried in the backyard in a barrel. Remember those weapons that I dug up? If I had dug 6 feet to the right, there was a person. I think, if they're still there. Who knows? Hopefully they got out. Maybe.
Made 1 barrels of dust you can sell.
1? 1 barrel. 1? Only 1. Well, I guess I could live with 1 barrel, but it's your loss. In fact, you know what? I'm going to cut you out of that deal. That's fine. You can keep your barrel, but I'll keep my share of the barrel I sell. Yeah, you can have the 10.
Well,
it's your
okay
people.
too, if you let me pet cow.
I mean, I'm going back to the farm soon, and the Brahmin are there, and, if you're looking for a job, have you ever thought about being a full-time Brahmin tender, like living in a barn yourself and just staying there with them and working on making sure everything's okay? Because you might be great for that. You already have that kind of outdoorsy barn house vibe to you.
You mean I could have my own?
Oh, you think this is a good thing? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's great. I love to see the initiative. I expected a different result. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's space in the barn, and there's also that chem station in the barn. I really hope I didn't leave any of those Nuka-Cola bombs while I was gone. But yeah, I mean, again, if you're ever looking for work, an honest life's work, I'd say a day, but... I mean, living at the farm's full-time, so...
That sounds like fun. Any goats, Mr. Rusty? I want to find a real goat.
You ever heard the legend of a sheep squatch, Raven? Because that's the closest thing I know to a goat in the Wasteland. Those things are...
A sheep what?
Well, I don't know if we have the time for that story today, but... I know where you can find one.
Sound cute?
Yeah. Well, I know where I saw one once before. And if you're ever looking, you'll have to come on over to old Rusty and I'll link you up.
Okay.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome to go on your way. Don't mind me just taking some cash out of the till here. You didn't see anything major. It's just a little, they owed me from an exchange earlier. And so I'm just, taking back a couple extra caps here. That's right. 5, 10, 15, 30, 60, 80. Okay. Great. He puts them into a bag.
Goodbye, Rusty. My eyes see nothing, Mr. Rusty.
Good on ya. Thanks, Raven. Have a good day. Don't mind me. Thanks. She heads out the door and back on her way. Where are we picking up with people? Raven, where are you off to next? Sam is headed into to see Tom. And shortly after some of these last exchanges, we'll do our break time for the night. So just keep that in mind. It's we're going on a 10-minute break. But I will see to you guys. You're going over to the cafeteria with Jim. Great. Sam, that means we'll pick up back with you. You go on in, do your little knock-knock at the door. And
How's it going, Tom?
See Tom working away at the computer, tapping on his terminal. He looks up and goes,
Hey, Sam, good to have you. How you doing? What's, back in town? What's the word on the cultists and the APC? I saw that driving past. Looks like we're gonna be needing some repairs on it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's pretty dinged up. It's got a fresh coat of cultist blood, but at least we were able to get it back in one piece relatively. We were able to pick up a couple of these guys. Now, to be honest with you, Tom, they're strange fellas, but I like to think that they're mostly harmless, and they've offered assistance in defending us against the Mothman. I was able to tell them, what's coming is coming for everyone in Appalachia. So they be honest with you, Tom, they confer with a magic 8-ball, and that's what they did. They asked the magic 8-ball for guidance. I'm sure you remember those from back in the day, and it told them to help us. So we got 6 bodies here, maybe 5 left. I'm not sure. A couple of them got crushed, but they're willing to help us, thankfully.
So, you met a crew of cultists worshipping a magic 8-ball who told them to come here with you, and a couple of them got crushed, as in to death, under the APC. Is that right?
Unfortunately, we took a few casualties trying to get it turned over, but without them, I don't know if we've been able to get it back.
It sounds like you had a hell of an afternoon. And this cultist leader, he's a reasonable fella I could have a chat with, or?
He's reasonable in the sense that he's nonviolent, but, there might be some times where he has to confer with this orb. Again, I told Rusty, take it at face value, kind of go along with it. I truly think they mean well, and it just might be something that we have to look past.
Well, and you hear Alfred kind of whirl, and he goes over.
Master Tom, Master Sam, I have an idea. I would volunteer to be their guide and chaperone around the town. Surely they're hungry, these cultists, and maybe I could take them down to the cafeteria, the cafe next door even, and they could get some food. It would be a lovely time, and I could chat with them and regale them with stories of my time and serving my family. And he rambles a little. Tongue Alfred, I think that's a great idea, actually. You definitely should do that. Why don't you go out there, and if you need, you could get the mayor, too, if they get a little rambunctious for you or anything. Have the mayor give them a history lesson of the town of Hope. That might be a good idea for today. Oh!
Before you head out, Alfred,
yes, Master Sam. How could I be of assistance to you, sir?
I'm actually really glad you volunteered for this. I have a mighty big favor to ask of you.
Oh?
With you seeming to be the only one left of the family home, it seems like you might have the most right as to say what gets done with it, and it's pretty much sitting there. I was hoping that maybe we could shelter them. I don't know for how long. Maybe the time building, maybe for the time being, maybe we could even build them a church or something. But for the time being, would you mind if they used your old family's house?
Oh, what
as shelter?
Splendid idea, Master Sam. Oh, and it's a great place. There's still so many copies of Grognak the Barbarian stuffed away. I'm sure we could have a wonderful time, and they could get the Halloween decorations back out and redecorated for the house. A cult loves Halloween items. Oh, maybe we could even rekindle a fire in the fireplace. This sounds splendid. Oh, I'm a bit too excited, I admit.
I'm very happy to hear that you're on board, and I truly appreciate you putting them in a place to stay. Thank you so much, Joffred. You're always the best.
Oh, absolutely, Master Sam. Goodbye, Master Tom. I will see you soon. I will just make sure that they get a bite to eat before they get peckish.
I tell Tom, part of me was thinking that them being on kind of the fringe of town isn't the worst idea either. It's not that I don't trust them necessarily, but may not be a bad idea to keep them away from the epicenter of town and somewhat keep them at an arm's length.
Well, I think that's a smart idea, and it's a really smart use of the infrastructure we already got, if you think that house is a good spot for him, I'm inclined to agree. I'd give you an update saying great things like we reclaimed some new houses and all that while we were gone. But honestly, I think you've already seen quite a lot of what we got done. The dock's a big improvement, but Rusty's about to head out himself. He's on his next supply run, which is good. That's good for us. That means that things are coming and going, and that's what we need. We don't have much going, though, aside from manpower. I know you and your crew had talked before about maybe figuring out some next steps in that regard. And now that we got the boat, I mean, that's the prize jewel we've been looking for, I guess, only 72 hours or so. But it's good to have gotten such a new aspect, a facet of our town. That APC needs fixed up, though. What I saw drive past the window was alarming. I didn't know it was that bad. Lena, well, I should say Jacob, says Lena's condition's improving. She's looking better, a little less pale in the face. Still not conscious yet. And he can't tell if that's due to head trauma or you mentioned the dust was poured upon her, and I don't know. We just hope that she'll wake up soon. She would be the one to be fixing up the APC if she were awake.
You know, on that topic, I had in the back of my mind that maybe we could, venture out a little bit, maybe get a word on some sort of, old military motor pool, and maybe find, some spare parts to try to fix this APC, and in doing so, perhaps find some extra construction supplies. Maybe there's, some sort of factory that we can loot, bring some of the stuff back there.
Well, there is an old military checkpoint just up the road. Sometimes the people coming from the pit pass it on the way here. Just depends on which way they're coming from. But you might be careful. I've heard some tale of super mutants that kind of patrol those parts. I don't know if you're familiar, Sam. Do you know what a super mutant is? I'm sorry to ask you the obvious, but better to ask before sending you into the maw of a creature like that.
Above board, I'm digging into my file and I get a lot of knowledge to think about this. I'm going to go with no. I'm going to say, Tom, what's a super mutant? I haven't heard of that before.
Well, the always honorable and noble U.S. military and the brainiacs they had around them had some sort of idea before the war, changing, enhancing soldiers and messing around with things that they shouldn't have, you ask me. As it turns out, there's been some concentrations around Appalachia and the rest where you find big, tall humanoids. There used to be people, as far as I know. Green skin, extra large muscles, enough to snap you like a twig. And some of them even bigger, I hear. But they walk around those parts. A lot of abandoned military bases tend to have some sort of footprint from them. And, my travels around Appalachia, I know that there's some down by a dam, and Huntersville, that's a whole other area to talk to you about. But Huntersville down by Foundation is still giving them a hard time. In fact, I'm sorry to info dump on you here, Sam, but there's a little story I've been catching up with folks there, talking to Ward and the Foundation, and I've heard they had an outpost, a second settlement raring to go, but it was attacked and destroyed by these super mutants. So just so you're aware, they're a hefty threat in the Wasteland. You just don't want to get caught off guard. They use guns. They use melee weapons as well. Probably whatever they can get their hands on. You sometimes even hear them with a horrible hound. Something like out of hell biting at your ankles, I hear.
Tom, now that you mention it, I do remember back before the Great War. The Eggheads and the Military Research Division, they were working on a cure for that pan-immunity viron. It was I'm sure you remember it. It was a big, big plague that, was wiping out most of the world at the time. I had heard of them creating something, FEV. I think that's some sort of forced evolutionary virus. I didn't know that they actually went through with it. I thought, when I had read some of the documents on it, I thought that it was a hack dream and that it was going to end up, killing people. And it looks like it did worse.
Well, I can't tell you much about any of that. I'm honestly not that much of a medicine man, but I know that there's folks down in Appalachia who do. They say that the 76ers, even out of the vault here, had a lot of confrontations with them throughout the region. You're lucky you never ran across them in your travel, and a little surprising maybe, but well, I think with this little bit of info, you might be able to gather why we don't get as many folks from the pit as we'd like. So if we're really looking at making this a way station, a spot on the river, we got our boat now, we got a APC that might be able to get fixed up, but clearing out the road would be a hell of an advantage. Who knows who we might be able to find.
It'll certainly make getting from the pit easier. We'll give it a look-see, and then maybe we'll get us some information. Who knows? There's probably documents lying around. You know how the military was before the war, just scatterbrained. So there might be, something that links us to a place to go, so that we can at least have some sort of idea on how to get this thing fixed.
Well, here's what I think we should do. Alfred's gonna get those guys all situated in, the cultists. I'll make my hellos and all the pleasantries soon. Get to know that leader of theirs, get to meeting him. I think we should set up a little town hall meeting probably this afternoon. Bring together all the department heads, if you will, all the people that are helping keep this place running. You guys can give them a bit of a debriefing, but get yourself some food first, Sam. We got a couple hours before sundown still, so let's get that in tonight. We can decide what the next group of plans are if you want to be heading out. If you're really going that way, that wouldn't be a bad idea, but maybe also take stock of what you need and get yourselves all healed up and patched up first.
Sounds like a good plan, Tom. I gotta clear out these two bodies off the boat before they start sinking, and then I'll heed your advice and go get some lunch with the gang.
Okay, Sam. You stay safe out there. We'll catch up with you in about an hour to two. Get yourself all fed. I'll go see what these guys are doing in a few minutes.
All right, we'll see ya. Thank you, Tom.
You head out the door, and Tom puts his head back down, tapping on the computer. Sam, you flew off to the boat. Where are you going up there? What are you doing?
Oh, I was we got to get these bodies off the boat.
Oh, they had already done.
They took care of it.
Started.
Just making sure.
Yeah, good question. Sorry if you already said that. My brain didn't log it, but they did gather those earlier and had carried them out of the hold. Actually, as you go up that way, you see Alfred with the cultists. About while you're right there. That's right. Sorry, let me move this, folks. But yeah, while you're about right there, you see Alfred already chatting with the cultists who have these two bodies strewn out on the side next to the road. And all the cultists are around jovially chatting. And with Alfred, he goes, we do need to bury the bodies. It's unwise that we just let them sit here
Oh, my mechanical friend, thank you for letting us in, but do not worry about burying the bodies. The orb says there's no risk. As we've asked it if they should sit here as a memento mori, it said yes, without a doubt. So it's our plan just to let them sit here and go on our way if you'd like to take us around town and show us our new housing. New housing! A couple of them yell in the background. Well, Master Sam, there you are. They don't want to bury the bodies. They say it would be, well, I presume to them it would be disrespectful. But I don't think we can let them sit here in the sun.
I butt into them and I say, fellas, I understand, your cultural practices are different from ours, but you have to understand that there's a town of people in here, and they see a lot of death every day, and a constant reminder of death is not going to necessarily bring up the morale in this current time of crisis. Now, if you want to practice that, by all means, do it. But they can't be here. They cannot be right in front of town. If you want to walk, a couple 100 yards and put them out baking in the sun somewhere else, that's fine. But it would probably be preferable to, give them a good burial underground, because you don't necessarily want all the things of the Wasteland picking at your brothers, do you?
Well, I don't count on it. That is the orb's answer. Don't count on it, Sam. Is that an insufficient answer for you? Would you like me to ask it again?
I mean, fellas, we've been very respectful of all your beliefs, and I ask you to be respectful of some of these town people's beliefs, and again, not wanting to see rotting corpses when they go get their breakfast.
Do they want to see rotting corpses when they go to their breakfast? Most likely! Yay! Oh, yay! Oh, most likely! Oh. Well, you see, Sam, fret not. I understand your ways are backwards and unenlightened, but that's why you brought us here. That's why the orb brought us here. You see, the orb says that people most likely do want to see them as they go traversing to their breakfast and to their ships and the docks and their businesses. And I think we should respect the cultural practices of the orb because it has never let us down before. I don't count earlier when they got smashed by the APC as being let down either, just in case you're curious. That's still a win.
Alrighty then. You guys go enjoy your new home, and I will see y'all later. And I walk off, and I mutter myself that Raven and I are going to go into the night and throw their bodies into the river with the power armor.
Goodbye, Sam. Goodbye. And Alfred goes, oh, yes, Master, goodbye. It was great seeing you. Thanks for the input as always. Okay. Leave them be. Don't touch them. Don't let any flies land on them either. Let's go this way. Everyone this way. And Alfred shuffles them all off down to the Main Street Slocum's Joe bar. And they all head that way. We're in a great spot to go ahead and take our 10-minute break for the night. You're all about to regroup over at the cafeteria. So I'd say as you go to take your 10-minute break, think about what you guys are going to start planning out next. Then after you guys have your little meeting here, we'll go off and do a little bit of a regroup with the town leadership, and then you can decide if you want to do any sort of expedition combat stuff later today, or if you want to be focused on other things too. All of that is fine, but I do think it's a really good idea of getting like extra parts to try and repair the APC. I think that's really good, because if you guys would do really, really well on your scavenging, you might be able to find yourself some radio parts. Like that would be the
That would be the S tier. The A plus stuff is if you got really lucky, you could find even that transmitter that would let you send from the APC. So couldn't hurt to be going out and looking for that stuff. But the sky's the limits. The world's your oyster. With that, everyone, we will take our 10-minute BRB. So go get yourself a drink, come back, or enjoy the commercials that play here. I will also pause people, and I'll do reiteration of some of those coupon codes. If you're someone that likes the Bethesda Gear Shop, want to get something cool like this nice hoodie I'm wearing, you could use the code BTAILS22 or 23. Maybe even 21 works. I'm not sure. But those will save you 20% off the Bethesda Gear Shop. 20%. And if you want to buy this game for yourself, you can use our code BTAILS at checkout on the Modiphius shop to save 10% there. The Modiphius shop has perk cards. They got Fallout minifigs. They've got all the game rules and books that I don't have on display in the background as he gestures wildly. But anyway, you could save 10% with the code BTAILS. And like I said, code BTAILS22 and 23, especially for the Bethesda Gear Shop. Save yourself 20% off and go use this time to subscribe to the YouTube and all the rest. See you in 10 minutes. Whoop. So right back to the just chatting screen for a second. Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here tonight. Let me get our music and the rest re-enabled. I'm trying to make a little something for our players here, but Alchemy, assist me. Oh, whoa. Okay, oops. Maybe it did work, but I just didn't see it. It was off the side. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Okay. Perfecto. Mac wants the orb, she says. Is that your... I thought Jim was going to be the one to touch the orb. I don't know if DK or Sam are back as well. Maybe Mac.
Oh, I'm here.
You're here? Jim, you didn't touch the orb yet.
No, I'm waiting for the right moment.
Ah, is that what it is? Okay. Gotcha. Monroe asks, where did the animated Washington, D.C. short come from? It probably was something pre-launch, I think. I wasn't around Fallout for the time of it, but I found it on YouTube. The good old YouTubes had it, and I think it's a cute one. I used to, in the past, may still have somewhere, a couple, like, different segments of BRB screens, but I'm also a little worried because I lost my hard drive. Well, I lost my computer that had some of that saved. I'd like to vary them, ideally, but it's so far from like the top of priorities, putting them in there. That was from Fallout 3 PR, says Mac. Nice. Yeah, that makes sense, right? That would fit. Okay. Let me get myself out of the setup screen, get back into it. At most, we will go for about a half an hour longer, just for tonight, just as a reminder to my teammates and all the rest, and we'll try and do our little post-show recap afterwards. I remember the vault-tec spokesperson one. I love that stuff, man. I wish they did a ton more of it. I would eat it up. Game screen. Whoosh. Okay. As we sink back into it, we find our intrepid heroes inside the cafeteria as they take their seats, grab their food. I'm sure you got some nice rad stag meat going on there and all the rest. We're going to catch up with you all right as you're sitting down at the table, sinking into your meals. What's the chatter, gang?
Hey, Jim, do you think the orb guys will let us touch it?
Wait a minute. So now you want to touch it after you were just not letting or wanting me to touch. What's going on here?
Mood swing.
I sit down kind of flustered and I tell them, these guys are already starting to get to me a little bit. I don't know if it was a good idea bringing them. They refuse to bury those bodies. We're going to have to go in the dark of the night while they're passed out and chuck it into the water or something.
Yeah, that sounds a little strange. I mean, normally we don't just leave bodies out and about because not only does it smell bad, but it just starts to wear on people.
I worry about what...
Could we replace with another ball?
Maybe we find another... if we find another ball in our journey. But I worry about what kind of scavengers it might bring, having those out there.
Rusty said something about a sheep thing.
I'm not familiar.
It sound cute.
Well, we'll see. There's not many cute animals left here in the Wasteland. Also, Tom is going to have a town meeting here in a few.
Okay, well, what do you mean by a few?
Like about an hour.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, maybe we could all sit here and just eat some food and head over after.
I think that sounds good, sir.
But what about those bodies? They stink.
Like I said, we'll take care of it in the night or something. There's not much we can do now without making them mad. The orb has decided that they need to stand out there.
And you all go about eating your food. If anyone's lost any health points to this point, I don't think you have, but if you have, you get those back now. You are ready to roll with a fresh belly full of food. If you want to head over to the town hall meeting, it could be time for that, unless there's anything else you guys want to do now. If anyone needs any gear purchase, you could technically go see Terry or anyone else. Any equipment or the rest. Terry's inventory is doing better, as you'd all know, at this stage, with Rusty coming back up to town with supplies and the rest. So if there's anything anyone needs for the road, you could do that. Otherwise, go ahead and meander on. Do as you will. We'll pick up. My next big thing for you all will be the town hall meeting.
I might, if we don't do it before we leave next time, I might just buy some ammo real quick.
You definitely have time for it now if you want, or you can wait. Totally fine. So you're heading on over to Terry's. You open up the door.
Yeah, I'll do it real quick.
Sam, hey, how you doing, man? What's going on? What do you need?
What isn't going on, but there's quite a bit of rumbling going on right now in the town. We just picked up a boat full of some interesting fellas, to say the least. But I'm just in the market for some ammo real quick, buddy. You got any 308?
Let me see what I can do for you. 308. Well, I'm scavenging around here. I heard that rumbling, by the way. I heard the APC drive on past, but she didn't look very good, what I saw, Sam. Pretty rough.
We're gonna hopefully find some extra supplies to try to get her in a tip-top shape. Maybe we'll even get her looking nicer than she was before.
Yeah, that would be a win for all of us, I think. And you hear him rustle around. He goes, yeah, I got at least one box of 308. You need some more? I could look in the back. This will run you about 3 caps for whatever's inside of it.
I think I'll take that, as well as maybe some shotgun shells, and I think I'll be good.
Yeah, I think I could get you some shotgun shells. I just put some back over here. Let's see. That'll be the same exact deal for you, man. It's 3 caps, and you get what's in the box.
Alrighty, sounds good.
And
to roll some combat die.
Yes, that's right. It's 3 combat die for each to see how much. So it's 6 plus 3 combat die. So for your first, you did both. So the first one, what'd you get? 3, so 6 plus 9, and then 6 plus 8, or 2. I'm giving the wrong numbers. I mean, you get 9 and 8 accordingly. Sorry, words. 1 for each of those.
Thank you so much, Terry. I'll run my calculations real quick to see how much I owe you.
Oh, six caps. That's all. Not much.
Oh, only 6 for all of it? Thank you. Wow.
Yeah. It's no big deal. Thanks for that.
Appreciate it. Here you go.
Oh, for sure. He takes the caps and slides that over. By the way, above board for just a second. As far as I understand this game, it charges you 3 caps for a box full. Because everything else is just one number, like 1 cost per whatever you're getting. And this is that. It says, quantity found, 6 plus 3 combat dice. So, yeah, as far as I know, I think ammo's cheap in the game. I think the game also encourages me to probably give out less caps than I have or something like that. So I'm not sure. It's the truth somewhere in the middle there. But Terry's letting you go. You guys are in good standing anyway, so.
I appreciate it, Terry. I will certainly be back if I need anything else before we head out, if I can think of anything.
All good. I'll be here. Heading on up. Okay.
Yes.
Sam's on his way, gang. Is Raven and Raven, Jim, Sam, remember all the words. Or is everyone going at the same time? Is what I'm asking.
Yes.
You're all in the game. All your real life people are real characters in the game. You get up there, and a small group is huddled together. It is the primary leaders of the town. You got Hell's Bells, you got Tom, notably absent one Lena, who would usually be there. There's some other just folks filling in seats there. A couple people that head up some of the building in town. A couple people that head up the garden and the farming in town. And as you get in there, Tom, you hear him go, here they all are. Hope you guys got some good food, good eats. I've been given the most preliminary rundown here. What's all going on? I know you guys have, Sam, you and I just talked about it for a bit, but this is a good chance for us all to sit down, hear out what you all think of this. I mean, between a damaged, nearly incapacitated APC, between 6 new heads to feed. I don't even know if we're really taking care of them, but Alfred's feeding them up today. I want to hear what you all think about this, and then we can all talk about some next steps. So, not to make you speak too much, Sam, Jim, and Raven, but what is your tactical analysis on the Mothman cultists? Is this something we need to be putting everything on all our backs into shoring up the defenses? Or are we still looking to expand this town? Or
Based on what we saw, Tom, I think we really do need to shore up our defenses. 2 of them were able to do that to the APC.
Hear a couple murmurs in the crowd. 2 cultists did that to an APC.
You know what they were hyped up on?
Was this more of those vines we saw from the down at the police station when they destroyed that building?
Yes, sir. One and the same. And they took hits like nothing else. I mean, we were throwing major firepower at them, and they didn't blink.
That's not what we want to hear. I think I have some questions for Raven whenever she's got some answers for us about how likely it is they're going to be coming up this way. We need to make better watches at nighttime. We've never even firmly dealt with the Mirelurk threat, and you guys probably don't even know this, but while we were all away, we had a couple Mirelurks that came up on the shore. Nothing too much. The guards were able to shoot them dead. Probably going to have some more Mirelurks too tomorrow. Just a couple people kind of chuckle a little bit at that. His little levity to it. But it's just wild to think that a couple weeks ago we were worried about Mirelurks coming in and slaughtering us. Now they feel like shooting fish in a barrel compared to something that can crush an APC.
All I'm hoping for is that we can get more people on our side. I was able to convince these guys to come with us because the threat to them is bigger than anything else that's going on in their lives. So if we can do that for more groups, maybe get the free radicals on our side, maybe even if it's possible, get in touch with Foundation, we could build a small army. I mean, regardless, even after all the hits we took, we were able to take them out. So they're not impossible to kill.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I think there's something. I think you're working with a good idea there, and a good reminder that our enemies are not invincible, folks. These are flesh and blood human beings, as far as we can tell. And from everything I've heard from the first after-action report, it sounds like bullets work just as fine on them as anyone else, so firepower. Calling Foundation, though, for an army. Well, these 3 don't know it yet. Some of the people in the room do, but I don't know how combat-ready Foundation is going to be. We, in the time you were gone, got a
sort of a distress call out of Foundation that they had been attacked themselves by cultists. They had the audacity to march directly up to Foundation's gates and assault them head on. And as rumor has it, from that message, well, from after the message, I should say, and get in touch, they were ballsy enough to march up there with banners and drums, like they were going on some kind of holy crusade or something. I don't know, Raven, if that's what your people do, but they went straight up to the gate. Hell of a conflict. Sounds like Foundation lost a few of theirs, but just the same, were able to kill more of the Mothman cultists. No word about vines and destruction of that magnitude that I know of, but I don't know if that means that only some of them are that special, or if it means that they just didn't deem it the time for it. But hell of a scary call to get over the radio.
That doesn't bode well. I mean, Foundation is pretty well equipped. And if they got messed up, then that really worries me for our chances.
Well, so far, no parades of cultists, I guess. That's been our saving grace. And I still think that's why we should prioritize making relations with the free radicals. They are our natural barrier to the rest of Appalachia.
The dim one have a strange power, but the wise one will help us if they get their powder in time. The equinox come close, the dim's one get very nuts. Sorry, Tom.
What do
Where
you
does that matter?
Go ahead, Sam.
Oh, just that she's been contacted to deliver some of this powder to her people in Point Pleasant.
Hell's Bell speaks up and said, I honestly don't feel very comfortable with it here. It doesn't seem to, I mean, the effects of it from what we've heard and seen, and I mean, it just doesn't seem like something we need floating around town. I don't need our guards on less attention than they already are.
It like a holy week for us.
Well, that's coming up soon. The equinox. Yeah, it's pretty soon.
In about 3 weeks.
So what's the plan with that? We gotta get this dust to somebody for that time, or how we go about that?
I kind of pipe in. Oh, I'm gonna if Raven doesn't, or Raven's typing something, but I think I pipe in and say that I think that we could take it to Point Pleasant, and on that same trip we could try to make contact with the free radicals. They're around that area.
Well, Point Pleasant's quite a ways south. If you're serious about making the trek, it's there. It's a path. But I also want to make another thing clear. We've had this conversation just briefly before, that with Foundation telling us about the antidote to the plague going through, you guys need to get yourselves inoculated. But the problem there is Foundation would like to send up some of that vaccine for us, but with the roads how they are, how are they going to get here? Well, we could send you down there, but then you're going quite a ways into territory where you could be affected. And they say it turns you something like a feral ghoul, but with glowing protrusions. I don't think that sounds like an upgrade to any of you fine folks.
Well, the roads may be dangerous, but we do have a boat. I don't know how dangerous the rivers are, but it looks like we could take the river south through Point Pleasant, hit up the free radicals on the way, take the river down, and then take it up through the lake and travel the rest on foot through the mountains.
Well, Sorry, how far are you looking to go? You're going to take the boat down the river to the Free Radicals, regroup with them, maybe take Rusty with you. He could be an asset on that expedition. And then you're going to walk from there. You're taking the boat further south.
I'm thinking maybe taking it further south, north of the ash heap, through near the Charleston Capitol building, and maybe docking it in that boat and docking the boat in that lake and hopping the rest on foot to Foundation near the Uncanny Caverns through up until the Foundation.
It's not a bad idea, Sam, as long as the rivers run deep enough in those parts. I haven't been down that way in a long time, but it's doable, I think. And the irony to all of this, looking at the map, is they're saying they manufacture that stuff at the Nuka-Cola plant. You see that here on the map? That Nuka-Cola plant right on the river. That's right where you're talking about. Well, maybe that's not. Yeah, it's right about where you're talking about turning. If it being on the river is a real asset for us, that means we could even be getting that stuff in bulk and coming up here. Maybe I could talk to Foundation and see if they could, I don't know, brew up a new special batch over there in time and have that go north, or ready to meet you when you come south, I should say.
I think that's not a bad beat. Honestly, there's a lot we could check out on the way. I mean, we have a couple weeks. The Poseidon Energy Plant's near there as well. There's a lot of good stuff that we might just be able to at least get eyes on.
What's the rest of your team here think of that? You all up for a boat ride down south, down to Point Pleasant, past Point Pleasant, I should say. Quite a ways past Point Pleasant. Raven, I don't know if that's a good time for you to be taking your stuff. Your people are still a couple weeks away, is what I'm hearing.
Rivers sound like fun, and I always wanted to see the Mothman home.
Okay, and Jim, you're in on this as well, huh?
I'm game for whatever.
Well, fair enough. It's a hell of an expedition, though. I mean, it's something you all should be mindful of. How, if you're going in one trip, that could be just speaking realistically with the Wasteland, that's probably a week trip you're looking at. Short distance on the map, I know, but I don't think it's going to be the easiest thing you do in life. Hell, it took you guys a good day to even, I know it's on foot, but good day to just get to the radio tower from here and look at the distance on the map. I understand it's a boat, but I don't think these riverways are gonna be that easy from what we've already seen here.
We could ask the orb, right, Sam and Jim?
Yeah, we could totally ask that thing and see what it says.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I think we might need to be really conferring with your Mothman, if anything.
And has she had any more visions or...
All praise the orb.
But you, Holy One, are praising the orb now. Is this a crisis of faith or something? What happened to you? Some of the people look a little alarmed in the crowd.
Me tell a joke.
I forgot to laugh. Sorry, all you cult type are a little confusing to us. But the intel you brought about the Mothman has been appreciated. I just don't know what I think about all these newcomers. Any chance they want to be your sword and shield in this expedition?
I worry that there are loose cannons on this. I don't know what they would get up to, and they might divert the journey. I think if we can get them settled down, maybe have some people around here, make sure that they're getting to work, maybe even learning how to fight, that might help us a little bit.
Good plan. Fine. I'll take point on doing that. I didn't get a chance to talk to them in the meantime, but I saw Alfred getting them fed. He was taking them back over to the house when I last passed him, but hey, if nothing else, I mean, it's extra bodies here, and you said they could fought the Mothmen at their bridge location before, so they know how to fight. That's a win. 2 less of them, though, so...
I mean, maybe they'll be useful in convincing people who don't want to stay here to stay. Maybe that's their last-ditch effort.
You're suggesting we let them convert people in the town to their cult?
Not necessarily, but maybe people who passing through who, just, I don't know, have nothing better.
Well, it's not the worst idea I've heard, and a friendly cult is better than a hostile cult.
Or hear me out. We take advantage of these folks and use them as one of them what they called back in the day freak circuses, where we could make them into an attraction and sell spots for people to ask questions to their orb for a price.
Wow, that is a proposition and a half.
That's a good idea.
Oh, jeez. Interesting crowd here.
Something happened to them when they got hit by that frag grenade. I don't know if they're concussed or what.
I take it you're not a fan of this idea then, Sam.
I don't know. If it makes them
And
happy,
I could hand out
I
dust
can't really say
samples.
anything.
Is this another joke, Raven? You're gonna hand out your people's precious dust? I'm having a little hard time telling who's a straight shooter here. I don't know about selling tickets for them, but if they do want to do their business in town, I mean, as long as it's not disrupting us, I don't have much of a problem with it myself. The mayor here is a tin can full of knowledge, so I don't know that he's so easily swayed by that sort of stuff, but I think this expedition has merit to it. I think it's a long journey, but I think you could do it. Be your first adventure down into the southern parts of the region, huh?
Absolutely, and I'm thinking that if we're hard on supplies, maybe the Mothmen will trade with us, and at the very least, I know that we'll be able to get some stuff off the free radicals. So, I think there will be a couple places for us to trade if need be. We wouldn't be the worst off.
About the time you're saying free radicals, the doors open and you hear Rusty come in.
Free radicals. Hey, everybody. That's a group of people I know. Yeah, no, I wasn't just listening outside the door. I was definitely planning on coming in here to the meeting. Sammy boy, free radicals. You're taking me, right? We're gonna go. That's a better trip back. Look, boat travel, much more preferable than walking my butt down the road, risking life and limb with me and a pack Brahmin. So I'm gonna load up on your ship. I like this plan. Tom, I think this is good. I'll get them in good with the free radicals again. Hopefully they won't take the boat from our friends here, even though they were trying to get the boat and we did jack it from them. So showing up in it might be a little bit of a whoopsie-doopsie. But I think they'll be fine. They already know the passcode, these guys, so the free radicals aren't likely to kill them. They're a little more reasonable, I think. And plus, if they kill you guys, who's gonna get me back to my farm and get them their supplies? It just makes the whole chain a little messy, and no one likes a destroyed supply chain.
Tom sort of just nods in agreement.
Good that you be a help.
I know how much they like technology, but maybe they're willing to let this go. Again, if I tell them how dire the situation is, they won't be able to get the chance to go for much more scavenging for their old world tech.
Well, that's true. Do we tell them that they're gonna be the first line of defense on the way up to Hope? Do we? You know, they were at that Red Rocket station. If that area were commandeered by us, by them, by anyone, I mean, that could be a good line of defense too. That would block off a lot of northern travel.
I also, you bringing that up, not a terrible idea. If we can get our hands on that Red Rocket station, I don't know how much gas they have left. I know they took a big silo of it, but, if we can take anything out of there, we might be able to get some fuel for this journey.
That could work. We can see what it's got. Maybe, if we're gonna pull up at the docks there, maybe we could ask them to take us over there. Maybe they could help us. But a Red Rocket station, those are pretty notorious for being great outposts on their own. Good space to plant down and, watch the defenses. They got good walls, good roofs.
I certainly think we'll have to line up multiple layers anyway, so I don't think it's a terrible plan.
Also, I'm not just pushing this idea because my farm is the next stop after the Red Rocket station between there and Hope, and I really don't want to get my house burned down by a bunch of cultists.
We need your farm just as much as you do, buddy. Hope relies on it, so Hope relies on most every one of these little villages between there and here, so I do think that it's in everyone's best interest that none of these places gets burned to the ground.
Well, you're right. My farm and a couple others in the area do also feed them, so maybe we can ply with that perspective as well. I'm just waiting for the day the free radicals are. You're taking them in next, too. I'm taking in all the strays.
Yeah, hey, extra labor doesn't help or doesn't hurt. I think this is a good plan. If no one has any objections, I say we start thinking about preparing.
Sounds good.
Tom, you should maybe even have the cultists, if they're staying around here, like he just said, extra labor. Maybe you could get them farming, get them to make some farm plots and dig in. Come on. If I were staying around here a couple extra days, I'd have them all going to work with be shaking that damn ball and telling them all kinds of stuff. But, well, I'm not the eightfold speaker yet.
That would be fun to see them farm.
Yes, Raven, it is fun to watch other people labor. I love watching people labor at the farm while I sit back and have a nice ice-cold Nuka-Cola, and they do all the back-breaking labor, and then we go sell it off. It's a win-win. They get to work, and I get fed off their labor.
Me and Rusty have the best ideas.
That's right. That's what we always used to say back in the old world. Capitalists, they are the best of us. They give us great opportunities to work, and we're happy to do it. I'm happy to continue that tradition of giving people a good job. So I think this is great. I'm going to go with you all. I'm going to load up my Brahmin onto the thing, whenever you guys tell me it's time, but we'll shape off.
That's a funny word.
Yeah, you're a funny word, but I don't tell you that to your face, except for now. Sorry. I'll see myself out. He goes and just backs out the door there. Well, eccentric fella, it seems you got a chaperone for your journey. Is that where you're heading
Bye,
off
Rusty.
to next, or you all go into that other checkpoint first? What's your plans?
Well, it does seem like it'll take us about a week to get there. We do have a little bit of time if we do want to check out that checkpoint. And just, heck, maybe it'll give us leads on our path that we're already going to travel.
Anything is possible. I don't doubt there's gonna be supplies there, but just be careful. It's from what we've heard, settlers that have come through. We've heard that's pretty intense firepower there, so just be careful. I know you all can handle yourselves, and I'm going to get back to checking in on Lena here fairly soon, check in with Jacob, see how it's going. Look and see if you can scrounge up any antennas and transmitter equipment. That's the type of place you'd be going for that. So, Jim, you pay extra close attention to that. I know if Lena were alive and kicking well enough to go there, she'd be chomping at the bit to get a hold of that tech. So don't let this pass you by. Get those radio antennas ASAP.
We'll certainly keep an eye out.
Okay. Well then, I think this meeting's sort of adjourned for now, everyone. You all can get back to your tasks at hand, and you see kind of the people get up, start shuffling around, heading out the door one by one, or two by two, I should say, probably, as they're heading back and getting their tasks queued up for the day.
Well, gang, what do you want to do? Y'all want to jump around, get some sleep?
I think I'm gonna hit the hay.
I think I will too. And then plan out what we need for the trip.
Sounds good. I need a nap.
Okay. It is getting to be that time. It is getting dark out. People have been around. They've been chatting. They've been milling around the town. And as you head off to your places to sleep, to your quarters, Raven, at night, you now need to start rolling a combat die for me at every sleep. You'll figure out why whenever something happens. As for the rest of the crew here, so everyone's just going in and taking a long rest. Is that correct?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Raven's roll is clear. You all go, you tuck into your beds, have an early night, knowing that tomorrow may be a longer day. So you sleep peacefully, calmly, no interruptions or unforeseen circumstances. Raven, as you awake, you remember a little bit of a dream from the night before where you saw purple eyes in the woods. But a vague memory, nothing that serious, nothing that really stuck with you. Just maybe more of the same. Maybe it's just your brain unpacking the insanity of your shifting reality. But the next day comes, you wake up, you go and you get some food, and I'm guessing you guys are heading straight off north then. Is that correct?
I might do some trading before we head out.
Sure.
But I need to take a peek at my inventory and stuff to see what we might need.
Speaking, this would be a good time to do above board stuff, considering we're at that awkward spot that it's almost 10 o'clock here. We're almost, 10-ish, 13 minutes away. So if you guys want to spend the rest of this episode just doing some inventory maintenance, and then we conclude this one and then pick up on the leaving of town next week, that would probably be good. I don't want to put you guys in one of those that last minute spot where you're too held up, or if you guys want to go off there, we could even get you to the location if you'd prefer that sort of thing. It's up to you ultimately where you want to conclude for the night. In town or get to
I
your
will
location.
need to check the trader too. I have stuff to trade.
Sure. Cool. We can do trade stuff.
I'd personally like to head out next week.
Okay. Yeah, that works great for me. I can prep up some stuff in advance for that. That'd be good for me. So what are we trading then? Are we trading with Terry? We trading with Rusty? Who, you guys don't exactly know who's got what per se. Rusty tends to have a little bit more like eccentric goods, fancier weapons, things like that. Terry's got more of your general goods around town. So you guys are looking to offload items. Who might want to go first, and what are you offloading? This is not a rush or a race. In fact, if you guys want to look at your inventory, I can BS with chat a little bit here too. Monroe's over there. I can read a couple messages. If you called the one they put out for the show, you'd hear, oh, Monroe, I never did that. That was about the Fallout TV show that if you called the number, it would be someone screaming on the other end. In video game, it tends to be cheap too, depending.
It was hilarious.
I didn't do that. Because again, we're a little out of character now above board stuff. I'm telling you guys, we're going to do a watch along thing for the next one. Like, I am going to organize some kind of like binge marathon watch along. I think we'll probably do it in like Discord or something like that. But I'm gonna host some like watch along nights for season 2. Maybe we'll even do like, we could test run that with doing a rewatch of season 1. So
That'd be awesome.
yeah, that is a floating nebulous thing on the horizon that I'm already amped about. As soon as they saw, like, it was as soon as I saw the wrapped photos that they would posted about season 2 being ready, like that done in with the shooting and all that, and I was like, we're meeting for that. That's the thing.
I want to check if Terry has some chems.
Okay.
Specifically stim packs, diluted stim packs, and maybe some Rad-X.
Yes, he would have all of those. So what do you want and how much ideally? I've got the list in front of me.
I'm thinking 3 Rad-X, 2 stim packs, and I'd like to see how much that costs.
Sure. So stim packs are $50 a piece for the full one. And then Rad-X is $40 per. And these are the non-diluteds. So what's that math out to? 3 times 40. Whoops. 120. Plus, what's the other 100? So 220 before barter.
Can I roll something to get a discount?
Yeah, you can. You can definitely roll your barter check on that. Charisma and barter. Nothing.
Oof, horrible.
Nothing. Flat price on that one. I don't remember if we'd established that you like get a discount in town. I don't know if that's a thing that I did. So without having that in front of me, I'm just gonna say, yeah, was it 220 he was charging for that? Did you have a charisma reroll thing, Sam, or that doesn't apply to this?
Oh, I mean, if it's a contested roll, I think technically, but I don't know if this.
Yes.
Yes. All right. I guess I think I can reroll 1.
You may reroll 1.
Still bad.
Still bad. 220 if you'd like to purchase them. He can also dilute them too if you'd be interested.
I'm looking at what I have to sell. I just don't know how to tell how much some of it's worth. I guess I can check Notion. But it's just going to take me a minute to look at all this.
If you give me the names,
if other people want to look at some other stuff. I'll copy some stuff.
Turn on some of that music that gets me copywritten on here. Wait, themes. I have these. What's Sam's theme again? I don't know. Do a little something other than just town ambiences or doing the thrilling task of selling things. Look, some people don't like sales episodes of D&D games, but you want to know the secret, chat? When I watch an actual play series, I like the sales. What I don't like is the combat. I don't know why. I'm just not a big combat watcher. Okay, that's a lie, though. I do watch it. I do watch it, but if I'm going to skip through anything, it might be the combat stuff. Raven says, I want to check Rusty for ammo. 308. We know the 308 is 6+, and then it's 3 for that. And then you want a leather chest piece and 2 stim packs. So what we know, Raven, is 308 equals 3 caps per 6 + 3 combat dice. And then we know 2 stim packs equals 50 per. And then we know that the leather chest piece. Leather chest. Why Oh, here we go. That is 25 caps for one of those with a rarity level of 1. Raven, you're going over there. Why don't you go ahead? I mean, actually, I almost don't even think it's worth you rolling on it because he's going to have a rarity of 1. So, yeah, while I do this one, Sky, why don't you go ahead and check Notion for those prices, if that's okay. And I can help you with ones that you don't get. But they're all in there. Ooh, 2 stim pack. Okay, Max, so that's what you're looking at, right? So you're looking at 125 plus however much ammo you buy. 1 box, so 128 in caps. And you can roll a barter and charisma if you would like. It's your choice. Could save you, what is it, 10%, 25%? I know this game has its own, like, I'm sure it has some kind of balanced economy, but I gotta say, I think I would prefer... Oh, I see. So, yeah, when you succeed with the barter check, it's 10% more favorable for you. Same with buying and selling. 10% more favorable for you in both directions. And if you spend 2 AP, the price becomes 20% more favorable for you. If you fail, then the price stays the way it was. Ouch. Your opponent can choose to spend AP to make it more expensive for you. Wow. Imagine Terry doing that. He's like, sorry, Sam, you screwed up, man. I'm spending my Terry AP to make you pay 10% more. I guess if I were the GM, I could do that, but it seems silly. Also, like, 10%, that's the number I'm negotiating with in my mind. I'm like, 10% doesn't really impress me. I think if I were to do anything and maybe homebrew a change to those rules, like, I don't know. I feel like it could be in degrees or something like that. I'm not sure.
Mr. Rusty, will these trade for 1 box of 308 and 2 stim and leather chest armor?
I could do it for you, Raven. Look, you only owe me 128 caps here. And your eternal soul working at my farm. just kidding. Just 128 caps. And I owe you to clean the shit out of the Brahmin pen when you're next there. I'll even take 3 caps off for the last one.
I only have 1 cap, Mr. Rusty.
What? You got anything to trade? This is 1 cap.
Above 14.
You should have at least 100. I gave y'all both 100.
That's what I was going to ask about. I think Sky just gave you 100 last game or 2 games ago, and I don't think they've been spent. Last time you guys were at town, Rusty was the one that handed out that bag of caps. Oh, or unless you got 1 cap, hey, how about I take 12 barrels off your hands? Just 12. 12 barrels. We'll load them up onto your boat now that I know that there's a boat. 12 barrels. I take them down. I sell them all the free radicals. They all get high as a kite. I get all their money. Maybe I become the head of the free radicals. Who knows? Wouldn't that be nice for the town of Hope? Having old rusty dusty bones, tried and true as the head of the free radicals. I can imagine it now. Me lording over even more drug-addled, angsty teens, whatever they are. Bunch of ex-cons and new burnouts.
I have a
Wasteland.
laser musket engineering armor raider chest armor.
Oh, you want to trade that stuff to him? We do need to figure out the prices of all those items then.
Yes.
Which ones are you going to look up while I look up the others, Raven? You take the Raider armor, and I'll start with the laser musket. Sadly, when you sell stuff, it's, I think when you sell it, it's for less than when you barter it. Because I think bartering this is better. Turn that down. It's getting a little repetitive. We got Sam's music on repeat. Let's play Jim's soundtrack. We don't get to do this one enough. It's really fun. Yeah, Jim's Spacey soundtrack, the techie man. So I'm looking up engineering. And that one is 15 caps. 57 plus 15 plus 18. 90 caps worth. So you got 90 caps you could barter with there to him. I could take this junk off your hands. Look, the laser musket. The free radicals will buy this stuff. They love me. They've only tried to kill me 2.5 times. But that was a while ago. Things are a lot better now. You see the irony of this. The beauty, Raven, let me teach you the beauty of capitalism here. The wonderful thing of the pre-Wasteland. Had nothing to do with the bombs dropping, by the way. Don't believe any stories they tell you. But look, capitalism's this great system where the raiders, who were my enemies, they needed the stuff I had, and I was able to get it at better discounts and then sell it, and now they're desperate enough that they're working at my farm. It only took a Mothman cultist trying to kill them and stealing their power armor to get them desperate enough to do it. Some people say capitalism is the most natural system to humanity, right? You're suffering, and I exploit your suffering, and then I get to sit back and relax. It's wonderful. Notice all that good stuff I got in my house down there. Doesn't look like a wasteland home, does it, Raven? Having trouble with the hunter leather because it's legendary. Oh, yeah, I don't know if that adds an extra sales thing to it. I think it does, maybe?
But Sam says different, but yours sound okay too, I guess.
Well, I don't know what Sam says about it, Raven. I don't know. I haven't asked him. Haven't talked to him about it. Assume he's a red-blooded American. Not like any of those damn commies coming across the ocean to come and take my beats. Well, I don't have any of those anymore. The beats are all changed up. Now we got potatoes and whatever else. Yeah, I don't know.
Something about commies, not sure it big funny word.
Don't know how this changes the price of it if it's legendary. I did a little, like, search. I swear I've seen it before. We might have to hold that one for next time, because I just don't know. Qualities. Which book am I looking in? Yeah, I don't know if I got that on me here. I swear they sell for more. Well, an easy thing to do on the fly is we can just multiply it by like 25. We'll do 25% of that will be. So whatever the hunter's leather armor is, we'll up it by 25%, what he usually sells it for. Maybe there's a different rule in the book about it that I don't have written down somewhere. I don't know. I'm looking under the legendary section, but we need new music. New as in we already listened to it, but
So if it's like 20%, 25%, we're looking at 10 caps.
That's the total of it?
Yes, the hunter or the leather right arm's only 8 caps.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm just scouring the thing to see if that's a rule, but I don't know. Yes, Monroe. I don't know which thing that was. Maybe it was Sam's theme earlier, but yes, a lot of the music you hear in the background is the scoreboard from 76. Not all of it's super. This specific, what I call my bar radio for the canteen and all that sort of stuff. It's not all YouTube friendly, I guess. Some of it likes to say, you don't have the rights to this. But it doesn't get mad at me, I guess, so that's a win. This is such a great question, and it's bugging me because, as always, I feel like I've seen the answer to it and just have no idea. But I'm not seeing it in the book. Is there legendary stuff mentioned in the first guide? No, I don't think legendary gear is in the generic book, because when I search legendary, it doesn't come up with it. We're going to roll with the 25% booster on it. I have no idea if that's fair or not, but hopefully you guys don't feel too cheated on it, but I don't see a real rule about it. It does say the rarity level of the item goes up by 2, but that matters more about, like, where you could buy it from than who you can, like, that doesn't have anything to do with selling, really.
If I can just trade him all that stuff and pay the rest in caps, I'm fine.
Yeah. Do you need to re-announce, do you have the math in front of you for all of it?
Yes, so that would be if we're just bartering it straight and I get like the full amount for all of it, that's 68 caps. We're looking at 220, so I'll get 68 and then I'll put in the rest.
Okay. Sounds reasonable to me. Raven, how do we leave off with you? You had 90 caps due. Oh, no, sorry. 90 was your number you were going to barter. So you needed to come up with 38 caps? Rusty said he would trade you. You could do an IOU, take 12 of your barrels of dust. Or you could work eternally on the farm, or you should have 100 caps from the last time he gave you 100 caps.
152 caps from Sam.
Okay.
Oh, I did not mean to TTS
Okay,
that. It was
that's
supposed to
fine.
be minus.
I gotcha. So Sam's down 152 from his personal stash. Does Raven have her money? Does Raven have a tally of money? She's just like, I don't know what to do with all these caps. I don't know how money works, because I'm a Mothman cultist, and I live in the woods. And we trade sticks and skulls.
Look, Mr. Rusty, I found 30 caps.
Well, that's a lot less exciting to me. I gotta be honest with ya. Love ya as a customer. But, okay, sure enough, I'll take these. So, no, I cannot have 12 barrels, is what I gather from this cap exchange, then.
Raven leans forward and gives Rusty a hug. He's like,
Careful. There's a
You're
chance,
the best.
There's a chance I could break into pieces. Literally break in half, so... Thanks. You're great at killing stuff. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Well, hey, I got an idea, Raven. You got your stuff, I got my stuff. Help me push this cow's ass onto the boat. This Brahmin is just not doing too...
tries to like push the Brahmin, and it just, one of its head goes, and the other head's just chomping grass.
It's a boat. It's a boat.
I get to pet the Momo.
If you can help me push it onto the boat.
Why don't you roll a strength and athletics check while you're at it? It's the last thing of the night.
Monroe did mention, I forgot she was wearing power armor too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, is your power armor still on? Monroe, good.
Come on, girl.
Hug someone with power armor.
Raven she got 2 successes on her check. Well, whether you use force or coercion, you do get her to go.
Yeah. Okay. Now you can pet the Brahmin. Now that she's loaded up on the boat. Here, Bessie, you're good. We're all good. Everything's good. Just don't get a wild idea in either of those 2 noggins of yours and go diving off into the water.
Raven says she yeets the cow into the river. Okay. Raven throws Bessie into the river. Kaplosh! I'm guessing she's joking, but I don't know. You keep saying these things, expecting me to know if they're jokes or not. Wouldn't that have been an interesting end to the night had Raven just thrown Rusty's Brahmin loaded up with all his goods into the river? You want to see Rusty become the real villain of the campaign.
She was about to hand walk all of that powder back to Point Pleasant. She can tug it along with the power armor.
Wow, brutal. Brutal. Okay, gang. Well,
Bestie needed a bath.
no. This is a good spot, I think, unless you guys have any other sales things to do to put a pin in it for the night. Jim, you selling anything, buying anything while you're at it?
Yeah, well, how much is 308?
It's 3 caps for every box of it that you buy. And that's about 9 shells, maybe 6, but 8 per 3.
8. Okay, 8 per box. All right.
And that's an approximate because you roll, just as a reminder.
Okay, well then I'll do 2 boxes.
Okay, so 6 caps from you, and you need to roll 2 combat dice.
Okay.
Because it'll be, now the number's 12 plus however many you roll with combat dice here. 3. So 15. So it cost you, what was that again? 12 caps? No, 6 caps? 6 caps for the 15 shells.
Oh.
I'm double checking my math just to make sure. Yes. 6 is the subtraction of caps. Yep. Done. Stim packs or anything for you, DK. There's Radaway, Radex, all the rest for sale.
Not right now.
Okie doke. Well, friends, then this is a good spot to do it. Let's go ahead and put our conclusion to the show in here. I want to thank everyone for joining us over on the live stream, over on Twitch and YouTube today. A good reminder to go check out our website, tftfallout.com. That's Tales from Tomorrow Fallout. Why don't I do this to the fun music? Yeah. Get us some astoundingly awesome tales in here. Heck yeah. Oh, or restart. Kenku's been silly tonight. He's getting stuck. There we go. So go check out Tales from Tomorrow. tftfallout.com is the website. We got the new podcast coming. Very excited for that. I can't wait to go work on some of the design and the rest of it. I have to get the podcast uploaded to a couple other platforms, and then I'll be good to give out the name of it for everyone to go and enjoy. But that's going to be the show we host with some other Fallout creators from across the spaces of TikTok, YouTube, and the rest. If you'd like to support us, again, you can go and use our codes at checkout at the Bethesda Gear Shop. Use the code BTales22, 23, and maybe even 24 soon enough. If those codes don't work for you at any point, get in touch with me on Discord. Just send a message in the general chat, ping me, and I'll say, hey, I need a new code, and I'll get it for you as soon as I can. It's just as soon as I wake up and turn on the app and do the thing. But anyway, save you 20% at checkout. We get 10% off of or back on the order. And the same with the Modiphius site. If you want to buy the Fallout TTRPG, go use the code BTales there. That code is evergreen. It always just is that code. And you can save yourself 10%, get us a 10% kickback. And again, there's a lot of cool stuff up there. There's 3 or more editions of the books now. They have like 3 hardbacks of the primary rules, and then at least one hardback of the astoundingly awesome tales. They have a bunch of one-shots in there. So you can go check that stuff out. Like I said, use those discount codes. If you really want to just support what we're doing, you like what we're doing, you could become a subscriber up on the Substack page. We don't give out like benefits to that just yet. Maybe that'll happen in the future. But, well, you know what? Heck, that might even be where we start releasing some of these little post-mortems we're doing. We're doing little recaps here. That's what we're going to run off to do, is record a quick debriefer. And those might go up there on the Substack page. That's where I should do that. I keep saying I'm going to do it on Patreon, but I should just try and silo my stuff, put it up there on Substack, and I could put that out for our paid members. Just a little extra BS at the end, and something for you to be able to get something for contributing, helping us out, helping me keep the show going and expanding it in the future. There are costs to running this sort of stuff. I pay for the maps we use in the background. I pay for a license to be able to use those Fallout lore assets, the images and all the rest you see me work with. So if you want to help us, continue growing that, get access to cooler toys, as DK said earlier, there's a bunch of interesting new props and stuff I can put up on our pages thanks to you. it's starting to look like an actual vault in here in my place because of those Bethesda affiliate codes. So thank you to everyone that does that. We're up on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and I on the YouTube note will tell you all, please go check out my secondary channel, Overseer Kyle. It is talking head videos, it is product review videos, showed off some of those LED lights like you see in the background, the vault-tec Industries one. I think it's really cool looking. And yeah, can set this thing to different like colors maybe if it wants to obey. I think it's doing it. Yeah, they're turning up a little bit. Anyway, really cool stuff. Thank you to everyone that comments, that likes, that shares, that subscribes to it. Truly, any interaction you do in this algorithm day and age means the world. Those comments really do help boost it. So on that note, let's conclude it here, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to go record our bonus episode. We will see you next week at 7 p.m. Eastern Time here on Twitch.